Okay, good evening and welcome once again. It's another Friday evening and we thank God for that. And it's time for Revelation Hour. As usually, we bring you the program every Friday evening from 7:10 to 8:10. So God bless you for making time to watch the program, because there are many TV stations. So for choosing Home-Based TV, I think it's because of the love that you have for the program. So we are very, very grateful and we say God bless you so much. So please do one thing for us. Pick up your phone and then call some friends. Maybe they've forgotten. So you call them and then tell them that Revelation Hour is airborne. And those of you who are also watching the program on Trinity TV, we say God bless you and we welcome you. Trinity, at the moment, I think you are on course. You picked the program on time. So we say God bless you so much. And we cannot start the program without saying thank you to our cherished donors, because this program is made possible by your donations. So we are very, very grateful and we thank you so much. But still, the program has not ended. So we are still pleading with you that if you have any money that you want to send to support this and other programs that we've been doing, please do so and God will bless you, because we need money to pay for the airtime. It's not for free. So please help us. And the number that you can send your widow's mite to is 055 35 74 933. You see the number on your screens. And anytime that you send money, the name that will come is Joseph Anani. So please take note of that. And God willing, tomorrow morning from 9 o'clock to 5:30 in the evening, Evangelist Joseph Anani and the team is coming to Techiman Central SDA Church, right?
Techiman Glory
SDA Church. Yes. And according to the direction, is opposite the Malcolm. So please, if you live in around that area, some people called me from Kranza, Sunyane, that they'll be coming to take part of the, in the program. So please, if you want to join us, you can also join us tomorrow morning from 9 o'clock to 5:30 in the evening in Techiman, opposite the Malcolm, as we study together. And don't forget, you have the opportunity to ask any question of your choice, and Evangelist himself will be there to address them for you. So please take note of that. And this evening we are doing On the Mount of Olives part 1. On the Mount of Olives part 1. That's what we are doing this evening with 11 videos. My name is Evangelist Kofi Kakari, and as usual, I'm here with the man himself, Evangelist Joseph Anani. Evangelist, good evening.
Good evening.
It's another Friday evening and it's time for Revelation Hour.
By His mercies.
And let me tell our viewers that COP28 is in progress.
It's in progress.
And don't forget, everything that drop, we will alert you. As watchmen as we are, we don't sleep. And we will make sure that anything that drop, we will update you on that. Evangelist, On the Mount of Olives,
yes.
part 1.
I understand the program is also live on
Yes,
Facebook.
we are live on Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm.
We thank God that we are back on Facebook. That's Home-Based TV Ghana. You can watch the program over there. And we are also on Twitter. That's Home-Based TV. Yes, Home-Based TV. You can watch it on Twitter. And then on YouTube, Home-Based Television. You can also watch it on YouTube. That's Home-Based Television. So please, you can also, but if you go there, please like the program and share it for us so that other people can also get the program. Evangelist, On the Mount of Olives, part 1.
Part 1. Yes, we thank God that we have come this far, and I want to thank our donors, those who have been hearing our plea, and they are supporting us through the mobile money system.
That's right.
And we are able to pay our production managers, Trinity TV, Home-Based TV. We thank them. And little by little, we are going forward and making progress. On the Mount of Olives and part 1. It all has to do with the conversation between Jesus Christ and the disciples on the Mount of Olives. Christ gave a prophecy there which extends from that time to our day and age and continues until his second coming.
Okay.
So with the events now happening around us, it should be proper for us to revisit the prophecy and know where we are, so we can tell the people where we have reached in prophecy. Yes. Beginning from Matthew 24 verse 1 2 and 3 says, Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. Verse 2 and 3. Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world. This is Matthew 24, 1, 2, 3. Straight to the point. When they have asked these questions, Christ gave them an answer. The questions appears to be three, but it can be grouped into two.
Okay.
One refers to the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, and the other deals with the signs of the second coming of Christ and of the end of the world.
That's right.
So we group that.
That's after the millennium. Is that correct?
No, this is the pre-millennium.
Okay.
The signs of his coming, and then the end of the world before the millennium comes.
Okay.
Yes. So when you look at question 1, tell us when this thing shall be. That has to be a destruction of Jerusalem.
That's right.
And that's what we want to do justice to this evening. It is for a purpose. Because it eventually leads us into COP28. Eventually. So we will be there. When you look at question 1, Christ gave 3 levels of signs, or 3 groups of signs, that to transpire between that time to the destruction of Jerusalem.
Okay.
He gave it to them. But what he did was that he did not answer their questions according to how they asked it.
The answer that
Yes.
they wanted.
Yes. He mixed the destruction of Jerusalem with the signs of his second coming and of the end of the world. He mixed them up so that it is left with the Bible student to read and understand the events and then apply which one goes to the destruction of Jerusalem and then which will also go to the signs of the second coming and of the end of the world.
That's right.
Yes. So there is a mixture of signs over there, but it's still obvious.
Okay.
When you look at the first level of signs which Christ gave them, Matthew 24, 5 and 6, says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. That was the beginning. And then he added, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all those things must come to pass. But the end is not yet.
That's right.
So the first level has been given. The end is not yet. Fine. And then Christ advanced. That is from verse 7 and 8. He said, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. When he said this, then he raised the bar. Says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So you can see that in the first group of events, he said, the end is not yet. You see these things,
That's
but
right.
don't worry yourself. The end is not yet. And then he raised the bar a little. And then he said, when you see the signs, it means that you have just begun the feeling of the sorrow. That's the beginning of the sorrows. Yes. And then from there, then he raised it higher again. In verse 15 and 20. That's the third level. Says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then he continued, then let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. So you can see that this level of the signs he gave comes with a responsibility.
That's right.
The moment you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet in the holy place, it is your
Act immediately.
act.
Run away.
You have to demonstrate your faith. So over there, you don't have to quote that what Christ said, oh, the end is not yet. No. When you do that, then you're not a good Bible student.
There is an action word there.
Yes. That's why I said, let them which be in Judea, they should flee to the mountains. And then what next? Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. 20. Therefore they said, pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Okay.
So this has to do with the destruction of Jerusalem. Fine. What has confused many people is the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Many pastors.
Even people are linking it to LGBT.
That is exactly what I want. Yes, many pastors from Ghana here to the US. They consider the abomination of desolation to be the LGBT issue. Daniel, in all his prophecies, from chapter 2 to the end of chapter 12, he never mentioned anything concerning LGBT. He never prophesied anything that can be understood, even in the symbolic sense, to mean LGBT. Never. The abomination of desolation Daniel spoke of, the Bible has explained it. The Bible is its own interpreter.
That's right.
And that is explained in Luke chapter 21, verse 20 to 24. When you read this same prophecy, in Luke chapter 21, verse 20, it says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh." This is
a repetition of
Matthew 24,
that's
15.
right.
And then you have to demonstrate your faith. When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And then you act out. Then let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. Christ repeats that also in Luke 21:21. And then in verse 22 he says, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." And then 23 says, "But woe unto them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people." Then 24 concludes, "And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles shall be fulfilled."
Okay.
So when they came to Christ, tell us when this thing shall be, and of the and what shall be the signs of thy coming, and of the end of the world. This was that which belonged to them in prophecy.
Okay.
So Christ told them this. "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet in the holy place." This is explained in Luke 21:20. When ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. That is all it means.
So the abomination of desolation is when Jerusalem is surrounded
by army.
By army. Okay.
Yes. That is abomination of desolation. Fine. There is a little explanation we will add very soon. He says when. When has to do with time.
That's right.
At the time when you will see that Jerusalem is surrounded with armies, that is abomination of desolation. When was that prophecy fulfilled? According to G.J. Goldberg, a historian, who wrote on a war chronology part 2, the campaign of Cassius Gallus and the defeat of the 12th Legion. And he also referred his sources to Flavius Josephus, that Jewish historian.
Okay.
Yes. He said Jerusalem was besieged by Gallus Cassius from November 17 to 22nd, AD 66. In fact, I have checked and it is true. You can check from the online Britannica Encyclopedia. It is there. You can check from the Jewish Encyclopedia. Whatever encyclopedia you can get. I mean, believable and credible historical books have all confirmed these dates.
Okay, very well.
So Jerusalem was surrounded by Gallus Cassius, a Roman soldier, on November 17th to 22nd, AD 66. That was when the prophecy of Christ was fulfilled. Now, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed. And then when they besieged the city, they left.
Okay, that's the 66.
Yes, they left in 66. Nothing happened. And they came back in AD 70 to destroy the city.
Okay.
We will explain that history with this video 1.
Okay, production, as I said, we have 11 videos that we are going to watch this evening. So video 1, if you are ready, please roll it for us. Right, that's a very huge mosque.
Yes, a giant edifice. That was the exact place where the Jews had their temple.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The temple is no more there. It was destroyed in AD 70 by the Romans.
Yeah, according to the prophecy.
According to the prophecy.
No stone
Yes,
will be
was
left on another.
So the Muslims have their mosque over there till date. Whatever crisis or trouble or war you hear between the current state of Israel and the Palestinians has to do with this temple. It comes from there. The struggle has been there. You see, it's very interesting. When you read the prophecies of Christ very well, it says, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So it means that from AD 70, there will be no Israel as a nation established by God until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So those of viewers who believe that Israel is God's chosen people who are there at the moment, what will you
they've
tell
missed
them?
the mark.
Oh, really?
They've missed the mark.
Okay.
It's an impersonation completely. Yes, I'll come to that. Let's read something from the book of Acts, chapter 13, 45 to 36, and then we come to Matthew 23, 37, 29. In the book of Acts, chapter 13, beginning 45, this is Paul. Say, but when the Jews saw the multitudes, they were filled with envy and spoke against those things which were spoken by Paul, contradicting and blaspheming. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you. By saying ye put it from you, and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the Gentiles. So, what Christ said is being repeated here. That the Jews will fall by the sword and shall be carried away to all nations. And then Jerusalem shall be trodden down underfoot until the times of the Gentiles shall be fulfilled.
Okay.
That time of the Gentiles, Christ predicted it in Matthew 23. I'm reading from verse 37 to 39. It says, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. So that before Jerusalem could stand on her feet again as a city, it has to be when they shall say to Christ at his return, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. So from Calvary, Jerusalem will never survive as a nation of God again. That's why Christ told them, your house is left unto you desolate.
That's right.
Yes. And that desolation is still in force. It hasn't been withdrawn. It's a prophecy. And the prophecy will continue until the times of the Gentiles. So that the Gentiles will also be given grace to become the sons of God.
That's right. That same opportunity.
Same opportunity. That which was given to the Jews, which they rejected, will be passed on to the Gentiles. And then from among the Jews and from among the Gentiles, those who will believe will become the sons of God.
Okay.
Yes. And then for the Gentiles also to know the end of their time, Christ added, they continued the signs in Luke 21:25. Say, and there shall be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
Okay.
And then he said, men's hearts, as a result of the roaring seas at that time, men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of the earth shall be shaken. Right? And then say, for the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That's up to verse 27.
That's right.
So when you look at the two events, the event to happen before the destruction of Jerusalem, and then which closes the Jewish history as a nation of God's people, and then the event which happens before the second coming of Christ, which also closes the history of the Gentiles as people to be chosen by grace. When you look at these two, the Jews had their signs in Luke chapter 21, verse 20 to 24.
Okay.
And then the Gentiles picks theirs from verse 25 to 27. They are connected.
That's the sign giving us signs.
Yes.
The Son will give us signs, and then
Very
the
good.
sea will respond.
Exactly.
And then the people will be perplexed.
So when Jerusalem is destroyed, it will remain until the times of the Gentiles. That's why Christ said, it shall be trodden underfoot until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Okay.
And the full fulfillment of the times of the Gentiles coincides with the second coming of Christ. So there are two great signs given. The grace of the Jews begins from when the covenant was established with them on Mount Sinai, and the blood was used to seal it up. Yes. When that covenant was established, and they said, all that the Lord have said, we shall do. Yes. From that time, the covenant began unfolding. It had been given to Abraham. That is on individual basis.
That's right.
But as a nation, when God established that covenant with them, he began with Israel as a nation. Our viewers should read more on this on Psalm 105. It is there. So the grace which was given to them for free ended at Luke 21:20, when Jerusalem was destroyed. Then the nation fell as a nation before grace. They couldn't get grace as a nation. But should any individual among the Jews believe in Christ, grace was still abundant for him. But for Jerusalem, and for that matter Israel,
collectively,
yes, to receive that their national grace as a nation, no, that one is over.
Okay.
That's why Christ said Jerusalem shall be trodden down underfoot until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And the times of the Gentiles has to do with when Christ told the disciples in Matthew 28, 18, 19, 20, that go ye into all the world.
That's right. Yes, and make unto me disciples.
As they go, they are dispensing grace. That's the dispensation of grace. It started with the Jews, and then it had extended to the Gentiles. Good. This grace will be with us until it's about finishing. And then the signs of Luke 21 verse 25 will begin to be giving us the red light that our grace period is ending.
Elapsing. Okay.
Yes. Just like Christ told the Jews. It's the same thing. So when you get to Luke 21 verse 31, Christ says, so likewise ye. That statement is enough to inform us that a group of people have been warned already. And Christ is passing the same warning to the second group. That's why he says, so likewise ye. When ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand. So this is for the Gentiles and for our day and age. So the Gentiles I don't know what is happening to Christians in general now.
At least we have to learn a lesson from what happened to them.
Jews. They had grace. They rejected grace. We have also been given grace, and we are abusing it. You understand? So when he said, when he shall see these things come to pass, then we should know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Therefore, our grace was finishing. What things? The things in Luke 21:25.
Okay.
Yes, there shall be signs in the sun, in the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity. These are the signs given to us. And the signs are fulfilling, and we have begun giving it a different name. Yes. We will deal with the next set of videos to explain our point.
Very well, very well. If you've just joined us, the discussion that we are doing this evening, the topic is on the Mount of Olives, part 1. That's what we are discussing this evening. and we are doing that with 11 videos. So production, please, if you are ready, videos 2 to 6, please roll them for us.
Every day, I'm faced with the challenges of our troubled and complex world. But none of them loom so large as climate change. If we fail to meet the challenge, all our other challenges will just become greater and threaten to swallow us. Climate change is quite simply an existential threat for most life on the planet, including and especially the life of humankind.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to COP24. I thank President Duda, Minister Kowalczyk, and COP President Michał Kurtyka for their warm welcome. Dear friends, we are in trouble. We are in deep trouble with climate change. Climate change is running faster than we are, and we must catch up sooner rather than later before it is too late. For many people, regions, even countries, this is already a matter of life or death.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, nature is angry, and we fool ourselves if we think we can fool nature, because nature always strikes back, and around the world, nature is striking back with fury. Consider the last few months. July, the hottest months ever. June through August, the hottest summer in the Northern Hemisphere ever, and the second hottest winter in the Southern Hemisphere ever. The years 2015 to 2019, the 5 hottest year on the books ever. Our warming Earth is issuing a chilling cry: stop. If we don't urgently change our ways of life, you jeopardize life itself. Look around. Seas are rising and oceans are acidifying. Glaciers are melting and corals are bleaching. Droughts are spreading and wildfires are burning. Deserts are expanding and access to water is dwindling. Heat waves are scorching and natural disasters are multiplying. Storms everywhere are more intense, more frequent, more deadly. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Humanity is in the hot seat. Today, the World Meteorological Organization and the European Commission's Copernicus Climate Change Service are releasing official data that confirms that July 2023 is set to be the hottest month ever recorded in human history. The consequences are clear and they are tragic. Children swept away by monsoon rains, families running from the flames, workers collapsing in scorching heat. And for scientists, it is unequivocal. Humans are to blame. All this is entirely consistent with predictions and repeated warnings. The only surprise is the speed of the change. The era of global warming has ended, the era of global boiling has arrived. The air is unbreathable, the heat is unbearable, and the level of fossil fuel profits and climate inaction is unacceptable.
NASA is predicting 2023 could be the warmest year on record. Scientists found that 2022 was the warmest La Nina year on record, which usually has a cooling effect on global temperatures. However, that wasn't the case for 2022. Experts say planet-warming fossil fuel emissions pushed the planet's average temperature 1.1 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Scientists warn the threshold should be no more than 1.5 degrees.
Well, this weekend's temperature should bring that average down a little bit.
Okay, welcome once again. We've heard Antonio Guterres. giving an unprecedented climate issues, telling the world that we are going through certain things that are not normal. So let's go to Evangelist for the explanation.
Yes, so far so good. The videos we wrote carries one strong message. Climate change is an existential threat. It will swallow all of us. You can hear from Antonio Guterres. And then nature is angry. 2016 to 2019 has been the hottest years
Ever.
That was when he was having the Climate Action Summit. Then we heard him, the same Guterres again. We heard him about 2 months ago that July 2023 is the hottest year ever. They have forgotten in 2016, 2019, they were saying they have met the hottest period. 2023, it is still the hottest. Yes, they cannot predict the future.
It keeps on rising.
Science deals with data, and when they have gathered the data, they process it. Faith deals with things yet unseen, but
That's
believing
right.
in it. Yeah, so we can see further than they will see. So all his statements or all the videos points directly to one thing: the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Yes,
Luke chapter 21, verse
very good.
25.
They call it climate change. The climate is changing, hence all these natural disasters. But you see, Christ said that the sea and the waves roaring, when the signs in the sun begins to, when those events in the sun, the signs of the sun begin to happen, it will impact the sea and the waves, and it will create fear among people. Now, let us take our viewers back to the account of creation. In Genesis chapter 1, when you read from verse 1 to 10, you get the whole story. But let me cut off some few places off. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's verse 1. 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and aligned the waters. Then when you get to verse 3, God said, let there be light, and there was light. Mark verse 6 very well. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. When you're reading these things, you get bored, but it's very interesting, because there was water all over on this earth from top to bottom. So God created a firmament to
Divided
divide,
the water
into two. So it held some waters up, and then some remained down here. Okay. And then he said in verse 7, and God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. It was so. So we have two bodies of water, up and down. And then he called the one up there heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Then on the third day he said, and God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered to one place, and let the dry land appear into a soul. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. Period. So God created the sea on the third day and made the dry land appear. Fine. Let's read from this is the Guardian.
The Guardian.
Yes, the men of science are speaking.
Earth may have been a water world 3 billion years ago.
Yes.
Scientists find. Okay,
Very
that's
good.
their findings.
Yes, that's the finding.
Monday, 2nd March
yes.
2020.
Very good.
Scientists have found evidence
Yes.
that Earth was covered by a global ocean that turned the planet into a water world more than 3 billion years ago.
Very good. We will not read all the details. I mean, this is so much of a chunk. But at least science have realized that once upon a time, our Earth was underwater. We don't need their statistics. We are dealing
have
with
it
faith.
already.
Yes.
In the book.
We are dealing with faith. Understand? So before, this is March 2020. You see, before they have gotten to these findings, we have it in the oldest book on earth. That's the Bible. And then the Bible told us that when God created the sea, the oceans for that matter, Job has given us a clue in chapter 38, verse 22, 23, and verse 30. I'll read it.
Okay.
God is speaking here. Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, Or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? Let me add 30 before explaining it. The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. When God asked or commanded the waters under the heaven to push to one side, to gather to one side, yes, Job is saying that he frees the water.
Okay, some part of the water.
Yes, that's the sea. So that is why in verse 22 and 23 he says, have you been there, the treasures of the snow? Understand? When the surface of the sea became frozen in those days, God says he did that one against the day of trouble, against the day of battle.
Okay.
So before man was created, on the sixth day of creation, God has frozen the sea down against the day of trouble, which is our day and age. So little did human beings have an idea that God has done all these things down. So the sea that was here on this earth and was commanded to gather together at one side, which he did, God by his word made the surface of the sea got frozen, hard like rock. Now let's roll the next set of videos to explain what
God is speaking, telling us how the world came to be. Okay, production, please, videos 7 and 8. If you are ready, please roll them for us. 7 and 8.
You're live with BBC News. Scientists say the average surface temperature of the world's oceans has surpassed the previous record set in 2016. The EU Climate Change Service has warned that the upward trend in temperatures has been caused largely by global warming. Our climate editor Justin Rowlatt reports.
They've been taking measurements of ocean temperatures here in Plymouth for more than a century. And for the last 50 or so years, they've showed a slow but steady increase, up about a third of a degree a decade.
Have we got a reading for today yet, do you know? I heard them say something around 18 or 19, which is 4 degrees higher than it should be.
It's been a similar pattern globally, rising sea temperatures and increasing numbers of marine heat waves. And it has just reached a new peak, 20.96 degrees Celsius, the highest global average sea temperature ever recorded. The world's warming waters are a dangerous trend, say experts.
People's perspective is that the ocean, it's so big, it's so vast that it can buffer anything that humanity can throw at it, and the reality is that's not the case. That everything has its niche within the ocean, and it's incredibly easy to break that niche and influence it.
Scientists are warning of dramatic changes at one of the biggest glaciers in Antarctica in the next 5 to 10 years. They're calling it the Doomsday Glacier. Scientists warn a floating section at the front of Thwaites Glacier that until now has been relatively stable could soon shatter like a car windscreen. Researchers in the UK and US are currently studying the rapid melting rate. It's already dumping 50 billion tonnes of ice into the ocean each year. The BBC science correspondent Jonathan Amos has the details.
They are putting people on the ice. They are studying it every day with satellites. They even have robots going under the glacier to look at what's happening at its floating front end. And their assessment is that they are about to see big changes there. In the next 5 or 10 years, they expect a 1,000 square kilometre section simply to shatter because it has so many cracks in it. And that'll make all the ice behind then speed up. And so this is a story about now, but it is also a story about the future, about what is happening in this warming climate that we have on planet Earth.
Right, the scientists are speaking.
Yes.
The scientists.
All those things has to happen before Jerusalem is restored. So if these things hadn't happened, I don't know how Christians are rushing to this counterfeit Jerusalem, claiming that is the promised land. No way. Job has told us already that God commanded the seas, he barricaded them. And then when Christ is about to come, he has told us that the sea and the waves will be roaring. And that will bring fear among the people. We are seeing it. We saw it in the videos. That the glaciers are melting. And the evidence is so clear. This is in fulfillment of Bible prophecy. because as they melt, the sea will eventually
rise,
and then coastal cities and what have you will
be
have
affected.
their share, and it's happening.
That's right.
Yes. Having said that one, let's roll the next set of videos too.
Okay, production, please. I'm with you. Videos 9 and 10, please roll them for us if you are ready.
Coastal cities in Southeast Asia, including Bangkok, Jakarta, and Manila, face a mutually risky future. They are sinking as sea levels around them are rising. Fred DeSam Lazaro has our report from Thailand.
Just 30 miles from Thailand's capital, Bangkok, sits a temple on a small spit of land. The only way in is to walk or hitch a ride with a motorcyclist along a narrow concrete footbridge.
Over my shoulder here are about 2.5 miles of what is today the Gulf of Thailand. As recently as the mid-1990s, this was the village of Samut Chin.
Community leader Suwan Waplai points to the lines of what were once power poles, disappearing into the distance, marking roads which once connected houses, farms, and markets in a thriving fishing village.
The soil here erodes by 1.5 to 2 inches every year. People have had to move houses 6 or 7 times because the water has kept coming.
Sea levels are rising at the fastest rate in 3,000 years, according to government agencies.
As much sea level rise in 30 years as we saw over the span of the entire last century.
In the next 30 years, sea levels will rise about 10 to 12 inches.
Will create a profound increase in the frequency of coastal flooding, even in the absence of storms or heavy rainfall.
NOAA says the rising seawater will impact all U.S. coasts, causing sewer systems to be overwhelmed and water to bubble up and flood streets. The seawater will sterilize farms and severely damage U.S. ports and military bases. NOAA says those changes will hurt the U.S. economy. About 40% of Americans live within 60 miles of the coast, and many of the things Americans eat, use, and wear come through our ports.
By 2050, moderate flooding that typically damages property and commerce, is expected to occur 10 times as often as it does today.
Spinrad says this report should be a wake-up call.
This will happen no matter what we do.
And he says doing nothing will be even more catastrophic.
If emissions continue at their current pace, it's likely that we will see at least 2 feet of sea level rise by the end of this century along the U.S. coastline.
In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
On the Mount of Olives, part 1 is what we are discussing this evening. And this news, Evangelist,
yes, so
it's terrible.
Like you rightly pointed out, these things are parts of the prophecies Christ was telling us. That there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth these sorts of nations, the sea and the waves roaring. When those things begin, there will be perplexity among the nations. And this is exactly what's happening.
Exactly what's happening.
Yes, you can see Thailand. And we hear them speaking concerning the coastal cities in the US. Yes, we only picked 2. But it is something which is global now.
That's
Many
right.
coastal cities are...
Ghanaians living around the coast will
Very
testify to that.
And Christ said, men's heart failing them for fear, looking after those things which are coming upon the earth. We heard them from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the US. They said, whether we do something about it or not, it will still come. Yes, nothing stops it. That is prophecy. So we never knew these things. But according to the video, they said the sea level is rising faster has risen faster in the last 30 years. Yes, they never knew. But
whether it rain or not,
it will still rise.
It will keep on rising.
And fear has become gripping the whole world. The next video.
Prophecy fulfilled.
Exactly. Yes.
Production, please, videos 9 and 10, if you're ready.
Video 11, right?
Video
11.
9, 10, and 11.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, very well. Video 11, please roll it for us.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has issued a dire climate warning during his opening address at the COP27 summit in Egypt. Speaking before nearly 100 of the world's leaders, Guterres warns humanity faces a choice between working together or collective suicide in the fight against global warming. The UN chief called on leaders to cooperate or perish in the face of climate change.
We are in the fight of our lives and we are losing. Greenhouse gas emissions keep growing. Global temperatures keep rising. And our planet is fast approaching tipping points that will make climate chaos irreversible. We are on a highway to climate hell with our foot still on the accelerator.
Okay, welcome once again. We've heard from the president of the world, the leader of the world, Antonio Guterres. Evangelist.
You heard him right. We are in the fight of our lives, and we are losing.
We are losing the fight.
Yes. And who told you we are winning? You see, let me remind Christians. When Christ gave the prophecy concerning the destruction of Jerusalem, no matter how adamant and obdurate and disobedient and disbelief people were, the prophecy came.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do.
It fulfilled. So also in our day and age, no matter the scientific and technological, ability, whatever we
the
have,
sea defense that we will put up.
Prophecy is prophecy. You heard how he was crying at the top of his voice, that we are in the fight of our lives. We are losing. We are losing. The Bible says when those things begin to come to pass, fear will grip people. You can see, and that is the gentleman speaking. He is the CEO, the United Nations organization. He's the Secretary General, and if the commander in chief
is crying,
then the rest of us, what do we do? So the Bible says what men's hearts will be failing them for fear, looking after those things which are coming up on the earth. So from Mount Olives, on Mount Olive where Christ sat, he foresaw all these things and put it in order. But we are now witnessing these things coming to pass. And when you read verse 28 and 31, they are both saying the same thing in similar. It says, when ye shall say these things come to pass, know that the end
is near.
So now we can know that the end is near. This is not for me to tell our viewers that
the end is near.
It is near. Whatever you do, it is near.
Then whether you believe it or not,
it is near.
Christ will come.
He will come. That's why he says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming with power and great glory. Yes. So Christ has foretold this. Now we will begin to tell what we are doing as a generation in fighting these prophecies. Yes, the events are coming, and it's as if we want to block them from happening.
That's right. We want to fight God.
Exactly.
Prevent God from executing what he has prophesied.
So this will lead us to the climate change battle, which the gentleman said, we are in the fight of our lives.
We will get there.
We are losing.
We will get there. You guys, God bless you so much. I think we still have some few minutes, so we will pick up your calls and then listen to you, whether you understood everything or not. So please, you can call us. The program, don't forget, is live. And the number that you can call us on is 0501 484 671. Production, please, you can put that number on the screen for us. 0501 484 671. You can call us and then share your thoughts with us. But I have some few messages here. Madam Mata Cluvia is watching the program. Mata, go and sleep. We are traveling. Okay. Obin Manu Isaac, evangelist. God bless you, and your host Obin from Wasa Dadieso. Okay, Obin, God bless you too. Techi Apia Samuel, God bless you. Techi, God bless you too. I think we have our first caller. Hello. 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 Okay, he's not hearing us. Okay. Akumayi Francis, DSTV loading. Oh, what is the meaning of this? Yes, serious, yo. Okay. Hello. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, evening.
Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is
Okay. Please mature your voice. Let's hear from you.
I will just say that it's the best one. And I really want to that I can do to see my so I will just need a thing that I use.
Director, we are trying to hear you, but we find it very difficult hearing you. So if you can reposition yourself well, I think that'll be better.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
No. Your line is terribly bad. We hardly hear you. So you please call back. You can also call us. The numbers still remains on your screen. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Please, your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Samuel.
Okay, very well. Please, your submission.
Yeah, your program is very thank you so much. Make it that is so simple that you understand. As you said earlier, the person is good for closing our eyes. I still people do not believe. They will not be so because there's a lot of miracles that you need to actually attack it. Thank you for this.
Thank you too, and God bless you so much.
Now, about 2 weeks ago, your Facebook live working.
Yes, that's true. But thank God we are back. God bless you. God bless you so much. You can also call us 0501 484 671. Okay, William. Oh, really? No sound on Homebase TV.
No, you should check.
Then you should check your TV. Maybe it's coming from your TV set.
Yes.
Okay. So please, you can also call us. Hello. Good evening. Please, your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Jonas, and I'm calling from Obuasi.
Okay, Jonas, we are listening to you.
Parents started very mysterious about the coming of Jesus Christ, and it's kind of like we make sure that Jesus Christ is coming to. But in what you guys are saying already, it means that they're sure and believe Jesus will come very soon.
Sure.
And we are so much grateful of how you guys interpreting the history of and how the end of this world is coming and what the Lord has put in the Bible for us to hear. We are so much grateful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, and God bless you so much for watching the program every Friday evening, 7:10 to 8:10. And don't forget, please, let me take this announcement once again. Evangelist Joseph Anane is worshiping or teaching at Techiman SDA Church, Techiman Glory SDA Church, which is opposite the Malcolm. So tomorrow morning from 9 o'clock to 5:30 in the evening, it doesn't matter where you are, you can join us over there so that we study together. And don't forget, you have the opportunity to ask any question of your choice, and Evangelist himself will be there to answer them. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening, please. Your name and where you are calling us from.
Please, Reverend Patrick Fushman, I'm calling from the.
Okay, Mr. Patrick, we are listening to you.
Oh, okay. Please, can I speak with us?
Feel free. Feel free.
Oh, okay. We're just looking at this. So, someone, I'm looking at. You also have a pressure and check. I'm Papa Abuba. Now, I want to be able to take anything that the produce you can share. You have to swim in there if you are there to share. And Mr. Papa Abuba. If you understand, you can imagine you things when you are going to handle it. Then I saw for you in the
Amen. God bless you too. You can also call us. Ebenezer Nyakunyampon is watching. Okay, Ebene, God bless you. God bless you for the message today from Elder Ebenezer Nyakunyampon. Elder, God bless you too for watching the program. I think you can pick our last caller. Hello. Please, good evening. Your name and where you are calling us.
My name is Stephen Johnson. I call from Obuasi. The program is very global to see. I'm very grateful that I read this program. God will bless you. Trinity TV. I salute you more.
Okay.
Amen. Bye.
Okay. Bye. God bless you too. And we greet everybody in Obuasi. So please, tomorrow morning, join us at Techiman Glory SDA Church, opposite the Malcolm, so that we study together. Don't forget, it's tomorrow morning from 9 o'clock to 5:30 in the evening. Evangelist, I think we've exhausted our time. And
yes.
Your last message.
We thank God that this prophecy was given by Christ even before his crucifixion. Far back AD 31. We are in 2023, close to 2,000 years down the lane.
And we are witnessing everything.
As if he was talking to us now. That is prophecy. So, my fellow believers, let us believe in the word of God. And we act upon our faith. It will eventually take us all beneath the cross. And Christ will come and take us home. God be with us.
We are almost home.
Sure.
We are almost home. God bless you for making time to watch the program this evening. From here, don't forget, we are moving straight to Angel TV. You can watch Angel TV. There will be a repeat over there so that at least you can abreast yourself with where we got to before we left Angel TV. So please, there will be a repeat on Angel TV this evening because Evangelist will be traveling, so we can't go there and do a live program. So God bless you for making time to watch the program. My name is Evangelist Kofi Kakari. Don't forget, we are still pleading with you that we need money to pay for the airtime. So any amount that you want to send to us, so please send it so that we can gather them and then use them to pay for the airtime. And the number that you can send your widow's mite to is 055 35 74 933. Production, they were saying something, but I didn't hear them. Okay, very well. And the man that God has been using to bless us is no other person than Evangelist Joseph Anane. Evangelist, God bless you so much. So same time next week, don't forget, Revelation Hour will come your way. We shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. God bless you. Mauna Yirao.
Base TV, total enjoyment.
Murderer! She killed the priest!
That harlot's covered in the priest's blood!